Welcome. Today we are also looking again at ratios, rates, and proportions. Okay, so uh, this time we are concentrating more on rates and proportion. Okay, so our objectives of this lesson is to make sure when it ends, you should be able to do the following. You have to understand what is a rate and how it differs from a ratio. Okay, we talked about a ratio, so we have to understand the rate and know the difference between the two. And next, we have to solve problems which involve common rates, e.g., for example, if the rate is speed, cost per item, and there are other many rates you can think of. Okay. The other is understand the meaning of proportion. Okay, you just have to know what is a proportion and understand its meaning. Okay? Then the other thing is we're going to use cross multiplication to solve proportion problems. Okay, we're given proportion problems, you have to use this cross multiplication to solve them. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, let's start by defining what is a rate. Okay, a rate is a ratio. Okay, you see that a rate is a ratio that compares two quantities of different kinds. Okay, so we know that it's a ratio, but it compares two different kinds. Okay, let's say we have the first rate we can think of is speed. Okay, it's a very common. Okay, it's a rate. Okay, so this means that when you are moving, let's say you are moving 2 meters in 2 seconds. Okay, this becomes a rate because these are different. Okay, it's a ratio, but it's these are different. Okay, so you can now say it's a 2 meters over 2 seconds. It becomes 1 meter per second. Okay, this is a simple. Okay, let's say another is it's cost per item. Okay, so you want to you buy something in bulk. You know that 10 they cost this amount. Okay, so this it becomes a rate. Okay, let's say 10 items cost $50. Okay, so now you can now say the rate is 10 items to 50. This is a ratio. Okay, but when you want to express it as a rate, you can say 10 divided by 50, then it becomes 0.2 uh, 0.2 items per per dollar. Okay, you're using dollars, right? You can say 0.2 item per dollar, or you can say it vice versa. Like you can say 50 over 10, then it becomes $5 per item, right? Okay, so this is the meaning of rate. Okay, that's the difference. Okay, let's look at some differences of rates and ratios. Okay, so the difference is a ratio compares similar things like boys to girls, fruits only, then cups of something or kgs of something. This is the ratio. Okay, then the rate it compares different things. Okay, like in speed you can say kilometers to hours. Okay, and here you can see the cost is a dollars per item. Okay, you can say here again dollars per kg. Okay, this is how the different it compares different things. This one compares similar things. Okay, now like I said before, let's now look at examples of rates. Okay, the first common example is speed. Okay, speed is a rate itself. Okay, when you say kilometers per hour, okay, or miles per hour, like something like that. Okay, so this is a speed. Okay, it's a very common rate. Uh, then the other thing is a unit rate. Okay, like cost per item and something like that. Okay, the other rates we can think of is like say people uh, people per hectare. Okay, this is the density of people. You can say how many people are there per hectare. This is another rate. Okay, there are many other rates you can think of. Okay, so this is about rate. Okay, there are many. If you are just comparing two things, okay, let's say you are comparing two currencies, it becomes a rate. Let's say you are comparing two quantities which are different. Okay, we are mixing something to compare this and this. Okay, you can just say these are yes. Okay, so let's now look at the next concept. Okay, the next concept we have here is a proportion. Okay, so what is a proportion? Okay, so let's read the definition and I will explain a bit. A proportion is an equation that states that two ratios or rates are equal. Okay, so in this case, you are equating two rates or two ratios. Okay, let's say you are saying 3 as to 4 is equal to, in this case, let's say 9 to 12. Okay, so this is a proportion. Okay, we are comparing these two things. Okay, so you can say that this is a proportion. A proportion is an equation that states that two ratios or rates are equal. Okay, let's say you're comparing speed in kilometers per hour. Okay, you can say it's equal to a certain distance in meters per minute or in meters per second. Okay, so this is a proportion. This comparison. Okay, so now let's see the worked examples on ratios, rates, and proportions. Okay, so now let's go to an example. The first example says that solve a proportion. Okay, you are being asked to solve a proportion. Okay, so the proportion reads 2 over 3 is equals to x over 6. Okay, we have two ratios here. I said that a fraction is a ratio and another ratio here. They are being comparing to each other. Okay, so the way we solve it is just easy. You just have to cross multiply. Okay, I told you about cross multiplication. Okay, in this case, you are multiplying this and this, then this and this. Okay, so I would like you to multiply that with a variable first, so that you say 3 times x. Okay, it becomes 3x is equals to 2 times 6, it becomes 12. Okay, so this is easy way. You just have to cross multiply this rates. Okay, then now you can see that you divide both sides by 3. If you divide both sides by 3, it becomes x is equals to 4. Okay, so now you can simply say 2 over 3 is equals to 4 over 6. Okay, now we have our proportion. Okay, our proportion. Okay, this is the way you do it. This is the way you cross multiply. This is the way you solve proportions. Okay, now let's look at another part of proportion, which is a word problem of direct proportion. Okay, so you know what do I mean by direct soon. Okay, so the question says that if 8 kg of rice costs $9, how much will 5 kg cost? Okay, so the first thing, we have a rate here, so let's write it down. We have a rate which says that 3 kg is to $9. Okay, this is a rate. Okay, because these are different, so it becomes a rate. Okay, then here we want to find out 5 kg, how much will it cost? Okay, so now it says that it's direct, because if the value here with 3 kg is going to cost less than 5 kg, it increases. Okay, so this means that the value of here is going to be less than this. Okay, so this is the meaning of direct, because this is increasing, this also increases. Okay, now let's see how do we solve this. Okay, to solve this, you have to create two ratios. I told you that ratios are of the same quantity. Okay, so here we have kgs here. Okay, so you create these ratios as a fraction. Okay, so we are creating 3 over 5. This is our ratio as a fraction. Then you say is equal to. Make sure that when you start with this rate, you start again with this rate in this side. Okay, so this meaning that if it's direct proportion, when you start with this rate in this side, you're going to start with this rate again. Okay, so this means that here it's going to be 9 over the other dollars we don't know. Okay, so now we just have to find it. Let's say it's x here, so for simple calculations. Okay, so now we have to solve this cross multiplication like we did on the last chapter. We have to say 3 times x becomes 3x, then is equals to 5 times 9 becomes 45. Okay, so if we divide by 3 here and divide by 3 here, your answer becomes x becomes 15. Okay, so this means that 5 kg will cost $15. Okay, 5 kg will cost $15. Okay, so make sure you are able to solve that. Okay, so this was about direct proportion. Okay, let's go on and see what is a indirect proportion. The correct term for it is inverse proportion. Okay, not indirect, it's inverse proportion. Okay, let's see how it works. Okay, so this is the same, the working is the same, there is a slight difference in it. Okay, so here the question says that if 4 workers take 6 days to complete a task, how many days will 2 workers take? Okay, let's write our rates here. 4 workers, we have 4 workers. Okay, they are going to complete in 6 days. Okay, how many days will they need to complete? Okay, so in this case, you see that if the workers decrease like this, we have decreased the number of workers. Okay, let's say it's increasing going this way. Okay, this means that the number of days is going to increase. Okay, you see that this arrow, I've drawn it from smaller to bigger number, here from smaller to bigger number. Okay, so this means that it's going to increase. When you see these arrows, just draw these arrows from smaller to bigger number, from smaller to bigger number this side. When you see these arrows going different direction, this means that it's an inverse proportion. Okay, so what do we do to solve this? Okay, So to solve this, you just have to create the ratios like I did last time. We have workers here, so it becomes 4 over 2. Okay, then is equals to, right? Now we started with this rate. Please pay attention. You started with this rate. In this side, you just have to start with the other rate. Okay, in this case, we want to know how many days, so we put x here. Now we have to start with the other rate. Okay, so this means that it's going to be x over 6. Okay, so this is the easy way of doing it. Okay, you have started. If it's in direct inverse proportion, the arrows are different. You just have to say, when you take this rate this side first, in this side you have to take the other rate first. Okay, so this means that the answer becomes, let's cross multiply, becomes 2 times x, which is 2x, is equals to 4 times 6, which is 24. Okay, so this means that x is equals to 12 days. Okay, so this will be our answer, because this means that these workers will take 12 days to complete the task. Okay, so this was about proportion, rates, and ratios. Okay, so please stay in touch for other concepts we're going to be uploading here. Okay, so please make sure you won't miss anything.